You know what I like? Kingdom Hearts and its music. You know what I also like? Rhythm-based games. Let's put them together.
The seaweed is always greener in somebody else's lake.
Oh, people didn't like that? Oh, wait, I understand. People don't like Atlantica. I mean, they complained about that world in the first game. Okay, I got it this time. Wait, they still don't like it? Oh well, let's make its own game, then we'll know for sure. And then they did. Hey guys, so after the release of Kingdom Hearts 3 ended the Xehanort saga, Nomura stated the next few games were going to see a new saga unfold. Well, considering Dark Road and Melody of Memories, we aren't done with the Xehanort shenanigans just yet, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Well, how do you follow up one of the arguably most requested and anticipated sequels in a successful series of games? You make it into a rhythm-based game, and oh yeah, the story's also canonical, like every other game in the series. So what you have here is Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memories, a spin-off game for the Kingdom Hearts series where it's a rhythm-based game with music from every other game in the series. I mean, it worked for the Persona games and nobody's complaining when they did that. 3 separate times, so why not Kingdom Hearts, right? Well, unlike the other games, this is the most recent game in the series, and by that I mean this game just came out by the time that I wrote this, and I really only have my first impressions on it. So this review will be slightly different than the norm, but I'm going to try and judge this game fairly as a game as well as a Kingdom Hearts fan. So without any further delay, let's go ahead and relive the memories with Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memories. So luckily for us, this part won't take long since we more or less follow Kairi reliving her memories from all the other adventures, giving us cliff notes on every more or less important event in every mainline Kingdom Hearts game, with the exception of Kingdom Hearts Union Cross.
See, I can skip it.
That's not the point! Anyways, you wouldn't really know this unless you played the DLC for Kingdom Hearts 3, but you can kinda infer something is going on with, after every couple of worlds, Kairi narrates the events that happened with everyone in each series of games. So I'm not gonna go over every game again, you can just watch my other videos instead, right? Right, shameless self-promotion aside, the new lore bits don't happen until after the end of the Kingdom Hearts 3 series of worlds. This is where we find out that Kairi searched all of her recent memories in her dreams under the watchful eye of Ansem the Wise and his apprentices, in hopes of finding clues as to where Sora might be after disappearing at the end of Kingdom Hearts 3. Well, after all that, she ends up in the final world, where she has flashbacks from when she was a child, running away from the Heartless outside Radiant Gardens gates, and is kidnapped by a Xehanort, when he was Ansem the Wise's apprentice in Terra's body. He hooks her up to a machine that we have seen a few times before at the end of Union Cross and in Kingdom Hearts 1. We see this machine in the castle itself where the world was known as Hollow Bastion. He tells her that under the idea that she is a Princess of Heart, she should be able to be guided to a Keyblade wielder, and in turn, be able to be guided to that wielder's world. He tells her that doing so will save their world, but he drops this little bit that will become relevant in a second here. If Kairi ends up in a world that isn't light or darkness, but somewhere on the other side, then their experiments will have failed and all hope is lost. Well, luckily for her, she ends up in a world with 2 Keyblade wielders, as we see in Kingdom Hearts 1. After which she runs into Xehanort just can't stay dead, huh, Nomura? What does a person have to do to die in this series? Well, luckily for us, it's just the memories of Xehanort and Kairi's mind, I guess. It's an illusion of Xehanort.
This is the magic trick, huh?
Illusion, my...
Yeah, I made that joke already. It's at this point Kairi fights the illusion of Xehanort, and while puts on a very, one-sided fight. Xehanort dodges her attack easily and catches her Keyblade twice, and tells her that she is looking for Sora in memories she no longer has, referring to the one she had before she woke up on Destiny Island. You know, that begs the question, who adopted Kairi or took care of her? Like, she goes to school on Destiny Island and, it's not important. Parents don't exist in Kingdom Hearts universe. So, the illusionary Xehanort is about to smite Kairi, and then she blocks it with the Kingdom Key, and oh look, it's Sora! But it's actually Sora? Well, wherever he is, he was able to send a small part of him to come and protect Kairi, but Xehanort mentions that his voice cannot reach them here, and then after a low-poly Kingdom Hearts 3 Sora fight, but with music, can't have Kairi being the main protagonist in a Kingdom Hearts game, am I right? After which Kairi turns back from being Sora, the Xehanort illusion that lingers in Kairi's heart tells her to think back when she was a child, and he mentioned about the world that is neither light or darkness, but somewhere on the other side. That is his answer, basically saying that Sora isn't in the realms as we know them. As I have explained in the past, everything in the Kingdom Hearts universe exists in the realm of light, the realm of darkness, and the realms in between, whether they be a Disney world, an original world, a dream world, or a digital world like Tron, Jiminy's Journal. Sora is in a place that exists on the other side of all that. It'd be easier to say it's another universe. Essentially think like the multiverse like in DC Comics with the alternate universes, or Marvel if you like. Same thing here. Kairi wakes up and talks to the Radiant Garden crew about her findings, and as they ponder the words that the illusionary Xehanort stated, they deduce that Sora is not in the realm of darkness, and Ansem the Wise says this.
The other side of our world. Of reality. Unreality. A fictional world.
Fictional?
I'm afraid such mysteries are beyond our comprehension.
Just let me pocket this line here. I promise this will make sense at the end. Ansem the Wise says it's beyond their comprehension. That's when Riku shows up and sees that Kairi's awake, both telling the other that they found clues to where Sora might be. Then the fairy godmother shows up. I swear, as I type this, it sounds like a bad fanfic. Oh my god. She shows up and says that to find Sora, they need 3 keys. First being Riku's dream of a large city with tall buildings, which is Quadratum, Latin for square, and the second being Kairi's memories of Xehanort talks about this world outside the reality, and then takes both of them to where the third key resides in the final world, which pretty sure this world is like the edge of reality where the hearts go on the brink of death, so now they can just go there. Anyways, they come across a multitude of hearts that won't pass on, and then they come across, as it's been dubbed, the Nameless Star, which, when they ask them about finding Sora, she states that she has met Sora before, referring back to Kingdom Hearts 3. Yeah, I didn't go too far into it, but supposedly this Nameless Star knew about Yozora and told Sora about him. Also, the person missing from Radiant Garden is a completely different girl than this Nameless Star. I have to stress that here. So, there's Subject X, and there's the Nameless Star. The fairy godmother says that Riku can go to this other world by using the power of waking, that this Nameless Star's heart can be used as a portal to this other dimension. A world that she calls Quadratum. That is the name of a city with the largest buildings that she has ever seen. Riku opens the portal and Kairi states that she wants to go too. Riku starts to protest and Kairi realizes she needs to finish her training and states she will get stronger so she can fight beside Sora and Riku. Riku goes in through the portal and Kairi returns to Master Yen Sid and fills them in with the events thus far. Yen Sid states that Donald and Goofy need to reach out to the Radiant Garden group, Aqua, Terra, and Ven, as well as the Twilight crew, most likely Roxas, Axel, Xion, and Aiza. These are the people that are searching for Sora, and let them know about their findings. Master Yen Sid asks Kairi if she will continue her training, and she said she'd rather be trained by Master Aqua, which is a good call, honestly. He then tasks Mickey to go to Scala ad Caelum to learn about this other universe's world and how they can be tied to the only other people they know who may have traversed there, being the Lost Masters, ending Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memories. Even a straightforward game as this, Nomura has to muddy the waters with certain phrasing, and while I'm sure this will somehow get retread in a future title, its implications are very promising. And I think we can expect big things in the way of the final world's implication bridging the gap with this fictional fantasy world, but that's just me. Let's go ahead and talk about the gameplay. Now, I'm by no means a heavy rhythm game player. I have dabbled with a few different types of rhythm games like Rock Band, the Dance Dance Revolution series, Just Dance, some of the Hatsune Miku games, Beat Saber, and most recently, Muse Dash. So I can say that I can definitely play them, but am by no means am I great at them. I usually play on the normal difficulties, as well as I feel ballsy the harder difficulties, and there are just some things I cannot react fast enough or figure out how to handle properly. But Melody of Memories here has a very unique gameplay style, where the characters represent the input reticles and will attack the enemies that represent the notes for the tracks. So, you have 3 separate buttons you can press, L1, R1, and X. These 3 buttons can be used in response to any of the 3 characters, so X doesn't have to mean the center, L1 doesn't have to mean the left, R1 doesn't have to be the right. It's whatever note is coming up at that point in time. There are certain times where you have to hit 2 buttons in succession, whichever ones they be, and the same thing with hitting all 3 at the same time. So while you are taught that, there is also 2 additional mechanics introducing hitting the triangle button to trigger a special ability to hit an oncoming enemy with a special attack, and then the jump button for certain characters to dodge enemy attacks, or press the jump button and any of the attack buttons to hit airborne enemies. If a line of music notes are in the air, that means you have to hold the jump, or circle button for me, to glide and then use the analog stick to fly into the notes. Okay, so you have your 3 attack buttons that are interchangeable, the triangle button for your special attacks, and the circle button that needs to be either used to dodge or be held continuously for a note or follow up with an attack. Simple enough. Each of these basic controls will be used in succession with each other to make complex tracks, and if you fail to hit the notes the enemies at the proper time, you will lose health, which if it reaches 0, means failing the song. This is standard for any rhythm game. Well, Nomura decided to add some RPG elements as well, so before you select a song, there are some missions to complete during the song, which isn't about performing a song well enough to pass. You'll get most of them. Some are just dedicated to making sure you don't miss a certain type of enemy note, an object on the track, hitting a certain percentage of excellent scores, or not losing too much HP without using any items. Oh yeah, items. Well, after beating a song, you're rewarded with items that can be taken to the synthesis shop, where you can make items to make it easier for you to play the songs. If your HP drops too low, you can pop an item to regain HP. There's also an item that can be taken to get more items after finishing a song, get more EXP from finishing a song, or to have Mickey assist you with your multipliers, HP, and whatnot. Yeah, experience points are in this game, which are used for 4 different types of teams in this game. There's the classic team of Sora, Donald, and Goofy, the Dazed team of Roxas, Xion, and Axel, Team BBS of Aqua, Ventus, and Terra, and Team 3D, Riku, and 2 Dream Eaters. I think the fanbase has better naming, but what can you do? Changing characters doesn't amount to a whole lot, and as long as you can keep the rhythm, you'll be able to finish a song no problem. Doing so, like I said, you can use to get these collectibles, and there's a lot to collect, I'm sure, to add to replay value. I will say, these little chibi loading screens are a whole ass mood sometimes, and they're reminiscent of that one Final Fantasy Orchestra game, Theatrhythm. Oh, wait, same developers. Oh, well, there you go. There is also a different kind of music track that is used in this game that is more similar to a regular Japanese rhythm-based game where you have to hit the button in time and it'll be flicked into a direction, or you have to hit multiple buttons in one point. And it's done in this battle sense where it's kind of back and forth. It's interesting, but these are so far and few in between. And then the cinematic ones they kind of play the same way, except they're even less interesting, I would have to say. There's also a lot of songs to choose from, but not everything is there, so no Winnie the Pooh songs, Pirates of the Caribbean, Tarzan, but that's to be expected. No Fantasia level, which that seemed like it should have been an obvious choice. Going through all the songs is not a bad time. I know I found myself skipping some songs, as well as completely skipping the Dream Drop Distance segment, and then just going back and playing songs I liked, as well as...
So we meet again, you little bastard.
There's also a 2-player mode, which I guess is cool and all, and an online mode, which was a fun time from what I played briefly. It's another way to get unlockables easier. But honestly, if this wasn't a game with lore, I probably wouldn't have beaten it as quick as I did, and that was the reason that made me play the game, was the story mode to completion, which is an incentive to play, but to be honest, $60 for this is way too much. And Nomura said there isn't going to be any DLC or any extra lore, which is fine, but definitely wait for a price drop on this one. Overall, not a bad time, but just like any other rhythm game, I'll probably go back to this on a whim. But other than that, maybe if it's on sale for $40 or something, you don't need to buy this one right away and can watch the cutscenes on YouTube if you really need to. Well, we still have a few games left I want to check out before we bring this year to a close, so go ahead and make sure you tap that subscribe button and smack that bell to know when the next video is out. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again real soon.